Hey there, Jarrett Boole here, Community Associate at Phoenix Labs, and welcome back to another behind-the-scenes look at Dauntless. Today we're going to be looking at Phaelanx and the Blazeworks. We'll be talking to our concept artists, our designers, our engineers, and a research specialist to dig into what went into bringing this behemoth to life. So without further ado, let's just get into it.
Finding the balance between industrial and living being was kind of tricky because we haven't really done that before on Dauntless. I know that we wanted to reuse the strike rig as a base starting point. For the animal reference, we're looking at owls, peregrine falcons, harpy eagles, hummingbirds. Hummingbirds for like the texture on Phaelanx's skin, quite metallic. The narrative we tried to establish was that this is a behemoth that's partially intimidating, really threatening, big, chunky, scary, and quite slow as well, but can also surprise you with some really fast attacks. We have to make sure we're keeping things pretty sketchy and loose to start, and then as we go along, we tighten things up. And the main idea is just to be flexible and not get too tied to your design because it can change a lot. And that's a really fun part for me, actually, is watching your design kind of evolve and grow over time.
The question I ask myself when I start working on an environment are usually like what this place is, what story is behind this place, what conflict maybe happened here, and how this place could reveal itself to players. When it comes to Blazework, the main challenge probably was to build this furnace and connect it visually to very different natural environment. Because industrial buildings and industrial architecture, it's very different visually, right? And originally they're supposed to be very different arenas and supposed to be placed in different parts of the islands. But then we realized that it would make much more sense for us to actually build them as a one like industrial complex. We tried to make them as much connected to overall look of the island as it possible.
Players have been receiving these kind of strange, vague surveys in the game about why they play games and what they enjoy doing playing games. And all of those surveys magically add up behind the scenes to a data set that we've been using to train an algorithm to predict why people play the game based on how they play it. So the interesting thing about this particular persona project is that once we have these personas, a designer will be able to say, oh, I want to make a behemoth for persona A. We could look at some of their in-game telemetry and see how they're behaving around other behemoths and be like, oh, hey, persona A seems to really enjoy these blaze behemoths. Let's make another blaze behemoth for persona A. Or alternatively, we might be like, persona A has too many blaze behemoths. Persona C is feeling really left out. And so we can look at people who match that profile and look at what they enjoy about the game and try to create something that will be more appropriate for their preferences and tastes.
I really connected with this one because Fire, to an effects artist, it's one of your go-tos. You're always going to run into Fire. We have some really nice Fire in the game already, but we wanted this one to look a little bit different. We really want to take the attacks and make them very meaningful. So we want to show what the creature is feeling at that time. So one great thing about the Phaelanx was the laser eyes. We wanted to make it feel like something's coming out of the creature, like something is hurting it almost to get this out. And so for this, we put flames around the eyes. And it's kind of like the creature is going through pain to do this, but it's going to destroy it.
The lava, you see it on the floor of like where you're fighting Phaelanx, and then you see it like falling down, and then when you turn the balls, it comes down from the tubes, and like it does so many things. And I did look into real references for how does it behave when it's like really, really hot. So you'll expect that it looks more like red or something, but like it just turns white of how hot it is. I will get it to a decent enough point so that we can put it into the game and it looks okay in there. A lot of the times I will not say that I put these new things in there, and then I will just be in the playtest like listening, and people will be like, oh, that looks super cool. Like it's like they were not expecting that, I guess. And that feels really nice, honestly.
My favorite part of the BlazeWorks experience is the fact that we were able to get like such a strong tie between the narrative and the Behemoth. So it was really interesting seeing so many people come up with theories and look at the lore nodes and really get a feel for like the objective of the island and what was going on. So we wanted to play a little bit more with space and how space factors into an encounter. For Phaelanx, there were a lot of like projectiles and moves that kind of force players to play like in different ranges. The thing that I learned the most is how much value we can get by tying the environment in with the encounters that we create. Seeing how well BlazeWorks did, it's definitely something that I'm going to continue to push and advocate for as we create new encounters.
And that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. You can follow us on all social media channels below for all the latest Dauntless news, and be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, clear skies and happy hunting.